Hello, my country people them. We don't come live again today, Saturday, number 14 day for September 2024. As we join, we know the usual routine, my country people them. We share, make it go far and wide. We share. We'll get a very interesting live presentation for una today. It will be very revealing, enlightening, educative, and entertaining. We share as we join, my country people them. Countryman, it come. Thank you again, my country people them. For una way una just join me. Make sure say you match fire for share, make it go far and wide. Una share, my country people them. Countryman it come. We'll get a very interesting live presentation for una today. Saturday, 14th day for September 2024. We'll bring on our weekly updates and we will talk specifically about the President of the United Nations General Assembly, where he come out from Oku, His Excellency Philemon Yang, the former Prime Minister for Cameroon. Thank you una share. Thank you again, my country people them. As when they join, we share, make it go far and wide. Whether you watch on for YouTube or for Facebook, we make sure say we leave on comments them as well, and we play on our own part for share, make it go far and wide. Now on our countryman, the telephone number that on the screen, as now you see, I'm +44 749 519 8739. And our website that www.countrypeople.com. We also share news and updates them for that website. So make una check out the website as well. Una check out the website as well, my country people them. So we go play our Kumkum anthem and then I go bring for una the live broadcast where I don't prepare them for una in the background, my country people them. Una bear with me. We don't prepare for a very interesting live presentation.
I have more important things to take care of, which is my country people, and which I'm going to begin now. My country people had two targets: tarnishing the revolution at the international sphere, making us look like terrorists. They knew that by now the international community will be addressing us terrorists, calling us terrorists. They knew that it was settled and signed and everything. The second was, let them destroy it on the ground by luring our boys out of the bushes, bringing them to their so-called DDR center, by spoiling the minds. And I want to tell you very blunt here, one of the components, one of the media tools of La République against this our God-ordained struggle. Look, when My Country People platform, when he started, he had more than 500 followers. When he put one story like this, it will have more than 300 shares. You will go there and you see more than 1,000 comments. That was the peak of his enabling activism. I'm telling you, My Country People is my target, because the harm that My Country People has caused us, especially our boys. He has deceived our boys until it is only now. When I make shows, sometimes I talk to them personally. Sometimes I send out messages to them. What My Country People is doing is like flashing. He pays you advance. You come in, they grab you, and the story is over. You come in, they grab you, and your story is over. Today he is lamenting that me, Ponilong, that I am a guest in his show. He is not even ashamed to put it on a poster. So you can see. Maybe you have not seen the poster yet. Let me show you the poster. I'm very thankful that one of my brothers just showed this thing to me. I saw it in one group, and man, what is happening? I never even knew. Look at his agenda today. On his agenda, look. I think I've posted it on my page. On his agenda, he's saying, live today, Sunday, 21st of at 6 p.m. Cameroon time. Special guest, Paul Nilong. We destroyed Amber terrorism. They are all crying publicly. Goes on there, it says, live Sunday 21st, 6 p.m. Cameroon time. We destroy Amber terrorism with Paul Nilong. Call and contribute. This is Paul Nilong.
Lesson number one, My Country People, talk to you. Listen, whether or not you accept, My Country People is a force to reckon with. Me, I agree. He's an enemy that is strong. So, Ambazonians will thank My Country People for the wonderful job. Now.
So, My Country People, then, for kick off this live broadcast today, we will start with this video, because I know say Capo Daniel will play a part in this live broadcast as well. So we'll start with this video. When I listen to Capo Daniel, it will explain about the Ambazoonia terrorist kidnapping for ransoms where they happen on the ground inside Cameroon. And then I will explain and elaborate a few points them throughout the live broadcast. So make una just be patient. I get a lot of content for cover through for this live broadcast for Deliver and for una. Some of the content goes back to 2019, 2020, and then we will also bring them to September 2024 and which way they happen today. Wrap them up for make una understand the importance of our sensitization and which way would you do, and also how much we don't win for the fight against Ambazoonia terrorism, for destroy Ambazoonia terrorism. So make this one it been one of the evidence where we go see them today. Now Capo Daniel they talk about the ADF, they are kidnapping for ransom for Batibo under Momo division for northwest region of Cameroon. Remember, I said Capo Daniel it be they are so-called what they call itself deputy defense chief for the Amber Fools them for 2021. I mean before 2023, it will be ADF. So in know all this picking them, in know the kidnapping for ransom business where them be do and time where ye be inside the group. So when I listen, My Country People them, I no go even talk more. Now the Amber terrorists they do the talking for me.
Capo Daniel, I want to send out the message first, now because we don't get information from the camp of the ADF for Batibo, from our intelligence, we did say they don't key that power where they be holam. I'll play the video for the power me gonna hear. Now one example for show kidnapping for ransom under Ayabachu. I know we'll go for the details and for the intel for compromise our sources and for also give una certain information which are not necessary for public consumption. But I want me gonna watch the video for the part where they kidnap for ADF then kidnap for Atibo.
7.
Yeah. Today is the 7th of
September.
September 2024. I want big people for I want my family people there for Ambazoonia. Same the try see how they feel me. The try for see how they feel me. What you ask me some idea. Me my me people they made them try for CC, made them help, CC me reach today. What they talk say if you not reach today, then they will overvex.
You know, our event today will be the last day for them to see you.
Today the last day.
They will see you
The
again.
last day for similar to the awesome. The thing that will be awesome. Me enter them.
It will be a last day for them to see you for life.
And if it not enter me today, today the last day for my family, for see me for life.
The pa na a council worker. Then kidnap that pa for pure ransom purposes. And I want me to know something, fellow Ambazonians. For this our struggle, we don't get experience for 8 years. Then you get real Ambazonian fighter the way they fight for the struggle, where sometimes they don't be misled for things say kidnapping for ransom if we help them. We get Ambazonian camp them, where they bring in their friend them, or people that join them for the purpose of kidnapping for ransom for raise capital for do business. So when they don't raise money, buy bike, so when they don't go open business of Douala, we know those ones them. Get corrupt individual them, where they don't make it maybe impossible for we for advance or make any significant progress for our people then. Today we talk about kidnapping for ransom. When an ADF Ayabacho, I don't work with Ayabacho like a top deputy. I don't work with the soldier them. I don't bring in barracks them inside ADF. I don't practically be the spokesman for this struggle. So we build the capacity of our propaganda and everything. So there are people who are talking things that they don't know. I'll give you 2 things. One, for example, Brazzaville's ban. So the reason why we be the ban that Brazzaville, it need to exist. And besides, it then become a two-way, it generate kidnapping for ransom and derailing our soldiers. So we need to change that. It then be a two-way, the Cameroon government, their intelligence, that they use them for pitch our soldiers against our civilian, for infiltrate our command structure. Because the people, the way they start became bribe soldiers, they allow Brazzaville make them, they sell for specific burden. Those people then start become agents for Cameroon intelligence, for gather who soldier they control which area, which network they protect them. So all those ills, it be make and say that ban for Brazzaville, it be then become useless, it be counterproductive. Now we talk about the school, where people they want for interrupt school. It need the help we for independence. It is a push we backward because it make and country they vex with we. When I hear you and now come out talk ho-ha, so we no fit get independence, you and no go ever help we. Why when I feel say they talk ho-ha? Now because they vex. When they make our mandate bole. So we need to understand. Say if we no show love for our own Pekin, when I see picture today, they show how Cameroon military they hold Pekin their school, primary school Pekin their hand for go level of school. But wait and care now the image, the impression with the international community they get them. What does school go, go, they don't care. Some person talks say no, resistance, challenge them. Which kind of resistance? Even the push for democracy for Cameroon, it can be put on hold because of the war for Ukraine. We need to understand what will happen for the war. The war is not interested in the legitimacy, in legitimacy. They want even dictators to remain. But Bashar al-Assad, when a dictator for Syria, now they try to work with you. Taliban, where they be considered a terrorist, they try to work with them. Because the whole international system to be reset due to the implication of the war of Ukraine. When I don't hear they talk about multi-partyism again for Cameroon, talk about free and fair election, when I don't hear any foreign organization they talk about that, they don't care. When I see they even invite Paul Biamigo for White House, because the white people, they don't care. When I need to see the bigger picture, why would we push our own local picture for Ambazoonia? The talk school go start next week. We don't get 6 different date them and lock down the Ambazoonia. The talk say that school go start. Una general. Now they go start now which school. When una the talk say the school go start, they go teach now which curriculum. When una talk say school they go start, they go give that picking away they go school. Now which accreditation? Una never think about that one them. That school go start, they go give them now the curriculum for Cameroon. Now me I organize GCE and first school living for our Pekin and for many places them. For Bamenda will come to a compromise. Red Cross, so all these NGO that they involved, now how we do. We will first start on board. They talk so we attack Red Cross, we attack this one. I talk say no, that one has stupidity. We go from soldier to soldier, explain for them the project of this international community, what they are doing. So when they say when I broke all breach, when I destroy all We need to act with wisdom. Cameroon, their intelligence, they take advantage. See how they have full ADF, then block Bengui Road because they want control fuel. Majority of our leaders for diaspora now are bystander. They don't even be involved because they don't get the time, they don't get the dedication, they don't get the commitment, they don't get the love for our people to the extent where they feel be involved for be able to make competent decisions. So now video that for the ADF where they don't kill that man with and catch him. That man a council worker. Make una understand the difference between council worker them, civil servants, and the ruling class. Council worker them, market master, the one that save and the way they save their people. They don't even get nothing to do with the government. The government, most of the time, the government official, they come, they go. That one, they remain. Now our people them, they don't manage to survive. These are dedicated people to the community. You go key person way na market master, na council member, council worker. Say they don't do it for you. It represent Cameroon government for side. Now people they wash pan. If tomorrow will take over that country self, now so that people they will go to use them. But you know go down me because people really don't make distinction between Atanganji Paul and John Fundi. Where they want to even burn John Fundi corpse. You know expect they go make this distinction. School must go. Una send una picking of a school. And I want to congratulate the school the way they already start to go. Then we Ambazoonia, we can't give that death threat. People like JK where they're supposed to know better. People like Mark Barata where they're supposed to know better. Where they see how the international community they be pissed off from we. They see how our boys they instead became key our own people them. For can't give proper counsel, they even come for can't give legitimacy and blank check for boy them for even target our own people. JK even justify the targeting using of lethal force against our students. So I go play this video. We're gonna sit down for Bamenda. Then we're gonna see how our own people they suffer. The union, the ambassador, the former one, before he want leave Cameroon, he come for Boya, he come for Bamenda. He can talk say the fighters and the fighting, the advocacy currently for Ambazoonia do not represent the interests of our people. And that is true. It is not a collective issue. The people who are not going, who are staying at home, students who are not going to school are being held hostage against the threat of death. They are not doing so voluntarily. It is not a collective thing. And anybody who is celebrating that has lost their mind. Have lost their mind. We must stand for our people. We must fight for the future of our children. The only thing we can give them is education. We must make education a sanctuary. When I talk to school, go. No, when I don't talk to school, and be boycott. Me, when I can't talk to me, the school go. When I can't accept them. Some of them have been a traitor. So school, they don't bribe me. Cameroon don't bribe me. No. Now, love for our people, and they for my heart. So now the admin now send me the students and go. So they will go right now which exam. When I want to tie their hand for back me and go for inside for go fight for battlefield. No. When I left the Pekin and go school, it not going to affect anything for the struggle. What you guys are doing, you are giving the enemy the victory. And our people do not stand for it. Our people do not accept this. The vast majority of our people have spoken. We visited 6 refugee camps. The refugees have expressed their opinion that they want peace to return because of the failure of our struggle due to the internal dynamic. They do no longer believe in the dream that Ambazoonia independence is imminent or it will come. Rightfully so. The international community have clearly stated such facts. Do not waste your life. Do not destroy the future of our children for no reason. Allow our children to go to school. Let the children go to school. Ayabacho, stop kidnapping. Stop this your thing you are doing. This your wicked, evil thing. Stop it. Look at the evidence. Look at what you are doing.
So my country people them, when I don't hear Nakapo Daniel Daddy talk, he say, Ayabacho, stop your kidnapping. Look at the evidence. Stop it. Stop that your wicked kidnappings. Capo Daniel also talk a few things in way I want to elaborate on and I want to make we pay attention to. It talks say their actions now, them, Ambazonians, them, as they call themselves, their actions that they give now the enemy the victory. Say all them don't come to the realization, including the refugees them, say Ambazoonia no go ever exist. It go on for talk something will be even more important. Say this. So now the population for the Anglophone zone, they feel like hostages. They know they should run for house, for lockdown or ghost town because they like him. They should run for house because of the death threats them for their lives. Say if they come out, they could be killed. So it is not a collective thing anymore. The Amber terrorists where they carry guns in the bush do not represent the interest of the ordinary Anglophones. And this is exactly where I wanted them to be. Now, why that way, if I hear which way Paul Nilon come up for talk at the beginning of this live broadcast, it tell Una, say my country people had two targets. One, tarnishing their so-called image at the international level. And two, luring the boys out to the bushes. It means point number 3. Actually, the first point, now wait, tarnishing the Amber terrorists, not for the international community, but for the Anglophone civilian population on the ground. The people, the way they born the Ambazoonia terrorists, sponsor them, nurture them, radicalize them, send them for bush. The ordinary Anglophone population on the ground, now my target. And now why they talk na pidgin, and then they talk English. And then secondly, for target the Amber terrorists themselves. Yes, lure them out of the bushes. May they go for DDR centers. If they don't go for DDR centers, we'll kill them. That is my strategy. I never ever hide them. So now, when I don't hear Capote, I need to tell you how we don't be so successful. For a level way, everything where the Amber terrorists they do them today, a bit detrimental to their own declared aspirations or intentions where they want to achieve them. So where they do them today, they give the victory to the enemy. Another very important point where Capote and I talk now say, now, whenever when I see for Yabachoi gang, Sakoi Komei gang, and all the other terrorists that they did for Facebook, they post, they celebrate, say they get locked down or they get ghost town. It say all those people celebrating it, they've lost their minds because they be so stupid for understand the implications of all those pictures. Them see the kind of picture where we send them out to our population and the international community. Now pictures such as this one we did on the screen now. Now pay attention on the screen for 1 second, my country people them. Now the comparison this, wait, Capote and they talk. We will show our pictures, one to the left of Cameroon military, where they escort innocent Anglophone picking them. Say me they go for school, go learn, for improve their future prospects. And the picture where they on the right, now the effects of Anglophone terrorists. When the Amber terrorists, they can attack schools like this one for Ekondo Titi for November 2021, where they kill picking them inside class. When you put these two pictures them side by side, you send them out to the Anglophone population, it'll give them a visceral reaction. It'll make them they understand clearly who be their enemy and who be their friend. Whenever they go for Facebook, they take pictures of Kumba for Bamenda and for Boya. They talk say ghost town be effective for Batibo for Bui, and then they share them, they celebrate them. We they help them for declare lockdown these days. Them help them for share those kind of pictures them because we understand the impact of which way it cause them locally and on the international scene. Now just because they be too stupid, like Capote and they talk, they don't lost their minds. They don't know the importance of those pictures them, which way they cause them. It be detrimental for their own aspirations and their own goals. And I can't play for Una a video in a minute where I go explain them in detail before I can't play video where come out from the United Nations General Assembly for our pa, His Excellency Philemon Yang, the President of the United Nations General Assembly. I can't play those two videos in for now. But before I go on, I want to make you pay more attention again to what Capote and they talk. The final point, it talk about say the kidnapping for ransom. Say some people that can't kidnap in the Anglophone zone, carry the money, go open business for Douala and for Yaoundé. Why that one be important for you and me, blacklegs? When I remember sometimes the way with the sunshine, some Amber terrorists talk today. So these terrorists, they be there for bush, they don't kidnap people, them carry 2 million, 20 million, 18 million. It they now for Douala, it they now for Yaoundé. And then some illiterates, as our Anglophone people, they're stupid for level way, their dullness, it be beyond comprehension. They go can't talk say, but when I talk, say me, they picking they run. Now when you don't run, go Douala, why when I they still follow ye? Now, the stupidity of the Anglophones, the way I tell you now, it be unending. Why people they be stupid for the level way, stupid now understatement for describe them. That picking there for Douala, it don't can kidnap we, collect ransoms, and then go open a business for Douala. Not even an apology, no amnesty. It just decide for commit crimes and kill people them, and then use the money, go open business, then she don't, and then you expect we for just leave it, may just continue to live in normal life. Like I said, nothing no happen. And then time when that money finish, it come back on the ground, carry gun again, kidnap a few people them, collect ransoms, and then go back for Douala or for Yaoundé or for Bafoussam. Just go mining, normal business. Just be normal. Nothing never happened. That way that money finish, it carry back on the ground again, wear mask, kidnap a few people them again, and then going back for Douala. Now wait till that way Anglophones they expect. Say we'll go to Douam. No, if you don't go through DDR, we'll go kill you. If we find you, we'll go sunshine you till thy kingdom come. Now when I go in a lucky say I know they're on the ground and I don't get the capability for carry the guns, can't follow you, miss yourself. Like I for there for that Douala with you. For that Yaoundé with you. I know for just sunshine you. I for there on the ground, they find you for wipe and throw them. I know for post and for Facebook now. When I get on a lucky. So when I match fire for share and I contribute them, I go play for una this next video. When I listen them, it go start by telling una say it no be a good idea for go seek for help from the United Nations. Why that one be important? Now because this whole nonsense is start as this picture way I go put them on the screen. I don't talk about this before, so I no go spend too much time on this. This picture way there on the screen at the beginning of the Anglophone lies and manipulation way it lead way to Ambazoonia terrorism today. 1995, SANC, John Goat Foncha, S.T. Muna, Molan Joe Litumbe, Barrister Ekontang, and all of these people them where they be say they go for America, for United Nations, for go open the decolonization file for the so-called former British Southern Cameroons. Those lies, they get direct implication to what way it happen for we in the Anglophone zone today. So make una listen to the advice way Rebecca Tinsley, it began to Chris Anu when it be there live with you. I think that November 2019 or September 2020, I not be sure about the exact date where this video it will be recorded live with Christopher Anu. When I listen, it be very interesting and it be very revealing for Teruna. They don't advise these people them for decades the truth and the reality. Now the disingenuity of the Anglophones them, the bad belly, the wickedness, it lead we to Wusawe we did today. I don't know whether they be that stupid for not even be able, for not be capable for take good advice or not. But when I hear what way this woman, when I hear it could try your best for give advice to Chris Anu. And despite the advice where they try your best to give Chris Anu go come back for the original position where we get them. Where it means that they don't get them the ability for listen to advice or for take a lesson and then make it sink inside them, make it penetrate their thick skull, enter for brain. I don't even need for talk more. When I listen to Rebecca Tinsley, I go play the video, make it talk to go end. Whether when I say when I go get small advice, where that woman they give them. When I listen.
And I think one does not look to the United Nations for help. And actually, the Cameroons have a double problem with the United Nations because President Biya's armed forces are doing the dirty work of the United Nations in the far north by fighting Boko Haram.
Correct.
And as you probably know, that inoculates President Biya from criticism. So the United Nations, because let's be really honest, a lot of white nations do not want to put white soldiers into battle in the war on terror fighting Boko Haram. They would rather pay black African nations to go and fight their war on terror on their behalf. It's a proxy war. And President Biya is doing a favor, just as President Déby in Chad is. He is doing a favor to the Western world by putting his troops in to fight on behalf of the West. That, as I say, inoculates President Biya from the criticism of the United Nations.
I think that is some hard talk, some really, really hard talk there.
However, I have to say that all of these groups believe in peace, and they will not want to be associated with any groups that are using violence.
Are you then insinuating that the Southern Cameroons is using violence?
I'm saying that some of the allies are using violence and destruction against innocent, unarmed civilians, and that this loses the sympathy of the world. And I think that no respectable peace or mediation group will want to be involved as long as there are human rights abuses and atrocities are taking place.
Are you aware that there are militias in the Southern Cameroons? Go on, please.
But I'm sorry, but I also know other people who are from Cameroon, who are Anglophone Cameroons, who are sympathetic to the activities, to the violent activities of secessionists. And I'm sorry, but no respectable peace organization will want to be associated with those violent groups.
Well, you are absolutely correct, and we here at the interim government of Ambazoonia, we have done everything to educate our boys who represent us in the restoration forces. The war is against French Cameroon. It is not against Ambazonian versus, it's not about Ambazonian versus Ambazonian, and they are very much aware of that. And every time they have gone out and committed a crime, we have rebuked them and sometimes called for the firing of some of them. That is how far we go. But you also have to realize that we did not provoke this war.
In 1961, I'm ashamed of that, but here is the truth. And I know the truth doesn't make any sense and it hurts. But a lot of international politicians, diplomats, they're very busy people. And you have to decide if you want to get very angry with them and tell them what a terrible job they did in 1961, or whether you actually want to get them on your side and pushing for peaceful negotiations. That is a choice, because I have to tell you that diplomats in the Western world are not interested in getting a history lesson. They're just not interested in it. So you have to decide whether you want to rant and rave at them and be very angry at them, or whether you want to push the buttons that they will respond to. And that is, as I said before, talking about human rights violations and the need for a peaceful and prosperous future for Cameroon.
Okay, now you will realize that the same international community is the one saying, let's get back to the root causes of this conflict. And when you say they are not interested in going back to the causes, isn't that a little contradictory?
No, well, you see, I don't agree with you that they want to go to the root causes. I don't think they've ever said they want to look at the root causes. You know, they take a superficial view at every subject, because Cameroon is one of dozens of problems on the international agenda. They are not going to look into the root causes, whatever they may say. And I know that the truth hurts, and I'm sorry to have to say this, but this is my advice, having associated with Western politicians for a very long time. I think I know them fairly well, and I do know that their eyes glaze over the minute you start talking about the past. That's why you have to talk about the future and what could be done now. I understand your anger. You have every reason to feel angry, but the horrible truth is that Western diplomats have a very short attention span, and Cameroon is in competition with many other countries with conflict. Cameroon must therefore find the most effective strategy for getting the attention of Western diplomats. And I respectfully suggest to you that the best route is to concentrate on the human rights abuses that are happening right now, on the humanitarian catastrophe that is affecting Cameroon right now, because you must understand that they are not interested in the past. You and I both know that they bear responsibility for the things that went wrong in the past, but that is not a subtle or clever way to get the sympathy of Western diplomats. I have great respect for the fact that you are trying to influence British decision makers. Thank you for doing that. What I am about to say is controversial. I think that having marches and protests and demonstrations is a complete waste of time. Total waste of time.
That's interesting.
Especially on a Saturday when none of these diplomats are sitting in their embassies, when nobody is wealth on a Saturday. Forget it. It might make you feel good to go on a demonstration, but it's pointless. Their colonial role. So believe me, I am very aware of the role. However, may I say that what I understand about British politicians is that they do not care about your history. They're not interested. They don't want to hear people from Ambazoonia talking about what happened in 1960 and 1961. They're not interested.
Why do you think they're not interested?
I know they're not interested because I'm British and I mix with politicians all the time.
Right. Do you see any motivation, any particular motivation behind their action?
No, it is very important that you hear what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
They are not interested in your history. They are not interested in listening to people from your country getting very angry. And every time that one of your politicians gets extremely angry with the British, it is self-defeating. You are not going to win their sympathy. What you need to do is talk about today and the future, because they are simply not interested. You are wasting your breath if you talk about the history of 1961, because they don't want to know. It embarrasses them.
Is this because they were, could that be the reason?
It's also, yes, part of the reason, but also the British are not interested in their colonial history because it is embarrassing to them.
Wow, that is quite revealing. That is quite very, very revealing. Now, let's in the French and the British. The French seem to be very, very engaged with their former colonies. And as you said, with the British, they seem not to care. What is the difference? Is it because the French depend so much on their former colonies for survival, or what?
That's a very good point. When the British left its colonies, it just walked out. It left, and shut the door. I believe that the French never actually left its colonies. France still has big economic, political, and military links, whereas the British, they just left. And I think that was because the British were embarrassed, and the British do not want to talk about their colonial past at all. And I find this whenever I talk to British officials, is that they become embarrassed when I say, look, we owe something to the people in the Cameroons because we were involved there. And instead, they want to be morally equivalent. In other words, they want to say, we are neutral. We're sitting here in the middle, and we don't want to know about the past. This is why I beg your politicians to not talk about the past. I beg your politicians to concentrate on the future in talking about the what steps would you like the international community to take now?
But if I may ask you though, how do you talk about the future without talking about the past? Because you will not have the future if your past is not cleared. They have to come to the realization that the Southern Cameroons did not get independence, proper independence, as stipulated by UN Article 1608. The British, as you said, just left, picked up their bags, and left. So, how do you talk about the future without trying to explain the past?
I believe that you have to take a different path. You have to talk about human rights abuses right now. You have to talk about atrocities right now. You have to talk about the right of people to self-determination right now. If you actually want to get the international community to take any notice at all, you talk about human rights abuses. You talk about the fact that 500,000 people have had to flee their homes. You talk about the fact that your politicians have been incarcerated in prison, tortured. You talk about the fact that 40,000 people have to Nigeria. You talk about the fact that women are being raped. You talk about 400,000 children not able to go to school. You talk about clinics and hospitals being closed. You talk about civil society being under siege. These are the things that actually ring the bell of the international community. Then they sit up and they take notice. But if you lecture them about the past, they will not want to hear it. And if you get angry with them about the past, you are only alienating them, when really you want them to be on your side. So why not talk to them in a language that they understand? And that is the language of human rights.
The problem there with that, though, is when you're talking about human rights, they are looking for a solution in some form of inclusiveness between the two parties, French Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. They are not looking at the illegalities of decolonization. So that's a problem we see, because we have seen major powers, the UK, the US, Canadians say, yeah, we need some kind of democracy, power sharing, but an independent Southern Cameroon says, problem.
It is a problem, but in a business. It is the business of the people of your country. And that is why our focus, and the focus of our letter to President Macron, was simply to make sure that when we get those negotiations, then it is up to civil society and armed groups and all the legitimate voices of your people to be heard. Then it is your role to decide whether you have federalism or devolution or secession. But it is not for the international community to be telling you what to do.
So if you were to advise Southern Cameroonians a way of approach to these groups, like the business groups that you are talking about, what would your advice be?
Well, the first thing is that I think it's incredibly important not to be responsible for atrocities. And I will be very honest here. The activities, meaning that you are losing sympathy from the international community. You know that many Western countries, the white world, they have a look at Africa and they say, they're all bad. Each side is bad. They are morally equivalent. They say, oh, it's all terrible, and we don't want to choose sides. Okay, now when the Amber Boys, if they are responsible for atrocities, then unfortunately, the rest of the world looking at the situation in the Cameroons will say, oh, we don't want anything to do with this. They're all as bad as each other. I think it's incredibly important to get sympathy for your cause, that you are not seen as contributing to the atrocities and the human rights abuses, because people will lose sympathy with you.
Now, without defending some of the atrocities, maimings, as you described in your letter, that we have seen in the southern Cameroons, doesn't the international community also understand that when people are attacked, they have the right to defend themselves?
Of course, I think they understand that in theory, but I am just expressing to you the weariness that many Western leaders feel when they look at Africa. They don't have the time to go into the detail, but when they see that atrocities are being carried out by the minority group, then they lose sympathy. They find it more difficult to argue on your behalf. And that is why I think it's incredibly important to use peaceful means. And
so my country people, them, when I don't hear what way Christopher Anu a come out for talk with Rebecca Tinsley, with that British journalist and philanthropist, where it try its best for advice Chris Anu and these so-called Ambazonians, but it's a losing battle. I don't think it's be possible for them to learn. So I could just talk a few or go through a few points and way they discuss about for make una understand, make we highlight these points. Chris Anu, a face. Now, one of the things and that way when I need to pay attention to when I watch this video, your facial expression. See how the information where that woman they give you, it touch you for his soul because see facial expression because now information that way Amber fools they no one here. They no one here. They no one hear the truth. Now, because they don't convince themselves with so many lies for so long, for the way the truth, it hit them so hard. So the first and most important thing where the woman tell him over and over and over again, Nasivity, focus on the future. Focus on human rights. The woman tell you, say, do not look to the UN for help. And just for highlight that point, my country people them, when I pay attention on the screen, I want to put something on the screen, make when I read them. When I remember this tweet, where Tibo Nagy tweeted on the 20th of August, 2024, less than 1 month ago, Tibo Nagy tell them, say, they say on Ambazoonia, and some folks still believe in the United Nations Resolution 1608 happening. Sorry, let's be real. Only 3 ways for Ambazoonia to get self-determination. Either you win them through military victory, or negotiate some kind of referendum, or Cameroon government just decide for hand part of the territory to you. But the United Nations Resolution 1608 is a false god. And ma show una talking about Resolution 1608, now in that on the screen, when I look on the screen, Resolution 1608 about the future of the trust territory of the Cameroons under United Kingdom administration. The first thing where they talk about that resolution now is the General Assembly, because they will talk now about the General Assembly, where today the President of the United Nations General Assembly, na Okuman, His Excellency Philemon Yang, Oku, where they are under Bui Division, under Northwest Region, the former West Cameroon, the former British Southern Cameroons. Now today, now the president of that same General Assembly for United Nations. So, how when I go complain, say the decolonization no be completed? How manage this person it become president of the United Nations General Assembly? How come? If you no be part or your country no be part of the United Nations, how come? How do you explain that? But we go come to that, my country people them. Make we focus, we'll go back for Rebecca Tinsley and wait away it talk for Chris Anu. It's focus on human rights and the future. Focus on the atrocities. Focus on, say, hundreds of thousands of school picking the no fit go school. Focus on the IDPs, the refugees them. Focus on human rights. Focus on the future where you want them for that country. If you talk about the past, you are wasting your breath. It's a the international community is not interested in your history in 1961. Talking about that is a waste of your breath. And this is why it be so difficult for the Amber terrorists to take that message and then they digest them. Because the atrocities are being committed by the Amber terrorists. As the woman tell you. After all of those things and we talk and then Chris Anu ask you, say, what would you advise the Ambazonians? The woman tell you, say, it is very important for the minority, the Amber terrorists, for not being seen by the international community as the ones committing atrocities, because they will lose international sympathy. So now I understand why the Amber terrorists, they hate me more than they hate President Paul Biya, because now they desperately need the international community for focus on Cameroon, for pay attention to what way they happen for Cameroon, because they don't get the capability or the ability for get outright military victory. So they desperately need someone else will be bigger for can help them in this fight, for give them sympathy. And whenever we display on the international community the atrocities, the way Ambazoonia terrorists they commit them, the kidnapping for ransoms, the wanton killings and murders, the stopping of children from going to school, all of those things, the fundamental human rights for picking them. Now they're picking them that on the screen. Those picking them, now the real victims of Ambazoonia terrorism. All of these picking them where they want to go for school, but terrorists, they'll stop them and they don't go for school. When we broadcast all of this reality, the international community no fit ever pay attention to the Amba terrorists. They need to give them the sympathy where they desperately need them. Nobody has said they want sympathy, they need them. Without the sympathy of the international community, Ambazoonia is Facebook noise. They desperately need the international community for give them that sympathy. Now, why that way? Everything where they do they beg, send me the international community, they pay attention to them. And despite all of that, this woman, Rebecca Tinsley, can't tell them, say, they commit atrocities. And as a result of that, no self-respecting organization, it no go pay attention to Una. It no go want to associate with any organization or group where they commit atrocities them, where they commit human rights violations them. And the Ambazonian terrorists, they don't come openly, publicly, can't declare them, say they, so they don't want picking them, they go school. Eric Tato don't talk them. As a matter of fact, before we continue, for highlight the point, I go play for Una. Now, Ambazonian terrorists, their position on schools and education now in this, before I come back, can finish analysis on this video. When I listen to the Ambazonian terrorists, because Chris Anutelli say, I hope say the international community also knows say there are militias in Cameroon. The woman said, no. Forget about whatever militias where you talk about them. Me, I know Ambazonians, people the way they support Ambazonia publicly, where they advocate for human rights violations in the Anglophone zone. So whether you want to talk about militias or whatever nonsense you want to blame someone else, no. I didn't talk about the ones who I know. I didn't talk about the ones where I know. And I always come with evidence. When I listen, or when I go talk to Eric Tato, no be Ambazonia, and Eric Tato na militia, I have a choice, carry two people, they put them for public square, execute them, na Ambazonian, na militias, na La Republique, na Antangaji boys. Come on. The things they will stupid now how? When I watch and listen.
Now the part I want away, any man will watch me after the video, me call the particular part by part, distribute them. Starting with, we have said there is no school. In the next show, we'll calibrate the focus of the no school issue for people to understand that when we say no school, mean no school. And actions have been taken. I don't want to say a lot of things here about the no school issue because this time I will act more. You'll see something. You see something. You know why they call me Gary Master. I take the personal initiative. Gary go day for one thing that for picking the hand they won't go school. For any part of Southern Cameroon. Because when we take this school issue to the Republic, so for Southern Cameroon not be having job. So if you listen to me, send them down for any mommy say, if I see any people for school, if I see any people for school, I you know what very possessive. So I take the responsibility, man, not every step of coding anywhere. I will teach the Peking how to teach Gary. I will teach you, I will give Gary lesson. Nonsense. When I think of the for joke, when they kill people that can't talk about school, no school, no, that is it. See, listen, not Mr. Man, LeBron, Steve, not tell me no. Any Peking go with the Gary, the Peking. In fact, I don't move from one finger to the entire hand. If any Peking go there, Gary one hand. Gary one hand. Nonsense. When I think of the general joke, one thing I know correct. In fact, LeBron, Steve, I don't beg, I don't change my mind. Now one hand now. Any Peking go there for school, give Gary for his whole hand. The whole hand. Put Gary there. So that when go out, mommy asking away, mommy asking make Gary. Now Gary do me so. The people will understand. The other one they will get the message. No man will go straight in. Nonsense. When I feel the joke, shit. When I go to school,
don't kill a military. If the military attack you, kill him. If the military doesn't attack you, don't touch it. On some of
my country people them, when I don't hear, now Eric Tato that, it talk him for video with the face and the voice. It say my name na Eric Tato, quote me anywhere. So you could then talk say the human rights atrocities, and because education is a fundamental human right, according to the international community, the United Nations. So now why that way it be so difficult? As a matter of fact, it be impossible for the Amber terrorists to take this advice. Focus on the future, because they the only thing where they get them now the past. Resolution 1608. That's all. They don't put all their hopes on. They bring una this picture where I'll put them on the screen now. This picture, the biggest lie where Anglophones they don't ever gear for their own people them. Jongo Fon Chadat and Estimuna them, Molan John Litumbe them. Say they go for America, United Nations, they get ships at Ambas Bay, United Nations, they come, all of those things them lies. Okay, so they no fit ever let go of the past, because that's all they have. Second thing, they say focus on human rights violations. They cannot talk about human rights violations because they are the ones committing the human rights atrocities on the ground inside Cameroon. When I look at the picture we do on the screen, now picking them that way, they're supposed to do for school. Now school picking them that, child soldiers, none of that picking them. Maybe one or two of that picking, they don't pass the age of 18. The rest of them then are under the age of 18. Now school building that way, don't take them, turn them into Amber camp. Okay, when I think that the international community need to see these pictures, them they see them because me I personally send them to them. Okay, now the picking them that, now the school picking them that. When I see the pictures in this what I show now on the screen, I will provide una evidence. Now the school picking them that. So they just stop picking them, they no go for school. And when I remember a Kondo Titi massacre, now evidence this. They go for school, go kill school picking them. So it's not just about threats. Now the evidence this way will show them to the international community. So Cameroon military, they help picking them when they go for school, escort them for school. Ambazoonia terrorists, they enter for school, kill school picking them. So when that woman they talk because they get the evidence. He know what way they happen on the ground. He no be stupid. No matter how Chris Anu, they want for twist talk, go up and down, all this stupidity does not work. Because these people them in the international community, they get the fact because we feed them the information. Now, whatever Paul Nilong tell when I say, or Erka to tell when I say my country people is a force to reckon with. Paul Nilong, they tell when I say the harm that country people has done to this our revolution. As a matter of fact, for make the point, make it be abundantly clear. I want to make una listen to this one. Now, Capo Daniel go talk.
But this is the reality. People listen to the devil himself, my country people of La Republique, more than they listen to some Ambazonian activists. This is the reality.
So when I don't hear the reality, people them, whether they're on the ground or the international, they listen to me and wait away would they put them out there more than wait away the Amber terrorists, they get them out into the international community. All of these people, them, Rebecca Tinsley, T-Bone Nagy, them, the United States Senate, and all of those people, they follow our page, the American Embassy for Cameroon, the British High Commission, all of those people, them, they want to find out any information, they follow our Facebook page, they follow with our website, they follow all the information we will put them. And when I don't forget, I get direct communication with the people, the way they autonton them, the people that they get the powers for pay for Yaoundé. Ministers them, whether they talk about the interior, Pa Atanji Paul, the exterior, Lejeune Belambela, and Pa Felix Bayou, whether they talk about Minister for Communication, Rene Sadi, I talk to them one-on-one. I didn't, when I know that, no mean me, I get to can't toot my own horn. When I know that to be fact, okay, I did send all of this evidence to them, and they pass them on to the international community. For example, now the same people in this, where they want the sympathy of the international community. In your own words, when I listen.
Is the moment to confiscate anything and everything United Nations has on the ground in our territory. Every United Nations official or piece of equipment that is seen moving or standing anywhere in Ambazoonia must be hurriedly, and I mean hurriedly, confiscated.
When I don't hear no, now Chris Anu daddy talk, no be me. They attack the United Nations. Okay, now talking about atrocities them on the ground. When I listen to this one.
No Southern Cameroonian, particularly a fighter on the ground. When you are fighting, please keep aside anything called international convention. that might come after you tomorrow. When you are fighting, keep aside anything called international convention that you think might come after you tomorrow. If it is to kill a Republican citizen and even kill pregnant women, let them be 1 million. Kill them. That is what is going to cause the international community not to be sending diplomatic envoys across. They will send soldiers down there to cause a buffer zone between the Southern Cameroon people and Larport Cameroon. If it is to massacre them for a day, 50,000, do just that. That is what is going to attract international attention and action. Never you guys be afraid of any damn thing called international conventions or Geneva, whatever convention. Don't keep that behind your memory. Do the job that will free you and stop thinking of a certain convention where you were never a signatory to that convention, like the Southern Cameroon people were never a signatory to that convention, and that those conventions got nothing to do with the Southern Cameroon. A year.
So my country people them una here, na me I talk no, not them. In your own words, they openly advocate for genocide, for atrocities them, and then they go ahead for commit the atrocities them. I remember say this Summer Thomas, he can record this video live for Chris Anu TV years after Rebecca Tinsley. He be advised them say, if we now want the sympathy of the international community, and if we now want the attention of the international community for una cause, do not be seen as the party committing atrocities. You have to go to equity with clean hands. Rebecca Tinsley advised them, come on, go. They can't talk, say, no, make we go kill pregnant women. Them. That's how the international community it go give we attention. So they not ever learn. They take the opposite action from the advice where they give them. Now, this time around, this same Summer Thomas talking on this same Ayabacho, Chris Anu, his so-called Facebook page or TV, or how they call him. This same Summer Thomas, he can't talk this one now. It threaten the United Nations workers inside Cameroon. When I listen, Master, I can't now receipts and evidence, no. I need to just talk with empty mouth. When I listen, wait where you could talk.
Yes. Any agent where they run around Southern Cameroon say the UN official. Now an insult and a slap on the face of the Southern Cameroon people. They are the cause of the problem. And that problem was caused in New York. They should go back to New York. They handle the situation there and make corrections. When they finish those corrections, they can now come on the ground in the Southern Cameroon to say, we are sorry and we've corrected that mistake. But running around that they are the Southern Cameroons for humanitarian mission, a humanitarian crisis, which is caused in the Southern Cameroon by themselves to begin with, and they are not even stopping it. They are sending people to come and be given food or whatsoever is an insult. Any member of the United Nations running around the Southern Cameroons under the canopy of the UN should be killed. I no need for the sugarcoat this statement again. Yes, I don't need for the sugarcoat this statement. Any member of the UN running around the Southern Cameroons for any reason whatsoever, if they think they are of any use, let them get back to New York, where the problem was created, and solve that problem there. When they finish solving that problem in New York, they can now come to apologize to the people of the Southern Cameroons, but running around the Southern Cameroons, they are on a humanitarian mission. It's an insult. Anybody running around the Southern Cameroons now under the UN flag should be killed.
Una here?
Show him no mercy, for it's the cause of the problem that is going on. Let me go to the truth, to the crux of the matter now.
Okay. So When I don't hear Nasama Thomas that talk on the 9th of July 2022, I don't archive all these things for when they actually finally can hold the tribunal for human rights violations in Cameroon. I don't archive them. The Eric Tato them, the Prince J.K. them, the Sama Thomas them, the Capo Daniel them. They will all go in for their atrocities them. When I don't worry, the international system, it operate, it work very slowly. The Ayabacho them, all them, Chris Anu them, they'll go in for it. Okay? Their own words on video. So when I don't hear the advice where Rebecca Tinsley, give Chris Anu, and when I don't hear years after, wait for the same Chris Anu, your Facebook page, Sama Thomas can't talk him. Wait themselves they talk him. They attack now United Nations because they be frustrated. Because they don't try all things according to them, it no work. Now, because of frustration, they turn now the same they attack now United Nations instead. So I still bring one of the video for H.E Philemon Young. I still come with that one. So make I just wrap up for analyze this video for Rebecca Tinsley. It talk now say, no be na the business of the international community for decide wait they happen for Cameroon. Whether una want arrange federation, devolution, secessionism, or whatever, no be na the business of the international community. Because it takes Chris Anu say, focus on the future, focus on human rights violations. Chris Anu say, the problem with that, now say, the international community will talk, say, we'll go make amends, we'll do some appeasement deal between Cameroon government and them so that they will remain as one country. Rebecca Tinsley say, whether that happen or not happen, what is that got to do with the United Nations? How is that the business of the British, the Americans, or whatever? I make when I understand, say, the work where we do it bear results, it yield fruits. Remember in the past, for 2018, when they talk about violence on both sides, the Amber terrorists, they be vexed. Say, no, there is no violence on both sides, there is violence on one side, because they be one for portray and for project that miscommunication or for fool the international community, saying now on the one side they commit atrocities, or now on the one side they produce violence. But themselves, they don't can produce the evidence with the kidnapping for ransoms, with the public executions, them, with their own words on video. Say, no, as a matter of fact, violence, it come more than 80% of the violence in the Anglophone zone against civilians today, for 2024, now the Amber terrorists they commit them. Now the results, now information that from the international community. Capo Danego can elaborate on that in a short while. So that's how much we don't defeat Ambazoonia terrorism and contribute them. That is how much we don't defeat them. So now the international community need to even still talk about violence on both sides. They talk now violence against people, them like innocent civilians, them. Children must go to school. Okay? And for highlight that point, I get more evidence to put them on the screen for now. So if you pay attention on the screen for a few seconds, when I go see this information right there on the screen. Now, when it comes to this thing about back to school, look at the people, the way the Amber terrorists they fight against. They fight against the apostolic nuncio for Cameroon, when Pope Francis is representative inside Cameroon. Look at the Mr. Volker Turk, when the United Nations Commissioner for Human Rights, he be there for Cameroon last month for August, and he put out a public statement. I go come read the public statement for now. Now the people in this way, the Amber terrorists they fight against. Look at the American ambassador for Yaoundé. By the way, the person we there for a corner. Now, Minister Felix Mbayu that we is there next to the ambassador for Yaoundé. The statement where the ambassador for Yaoundé where he put them out. When I remember that statement, no, now the statement this way there on the screen. It talks that schools are sanctuaries for learning and children must not be prevented from attending classes. Now, what is that way? The American government it talk regarding schools and Ambazoonia terrorists, they know, say not only them, they stop picking them, may they not go for school. And the clergy, look at what way Archbishop in Kia Etokam, children must go to school. Now, make we look at what way Volker Turk Ebitokam. Now in that, and I picture that on the 7th of August, 2024, for Yaoundé, Volker Turk, when the Human Rights Commissioner, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, And remember, say the United Nations recognize a humanitarian situation for Cameroon. That's all. They don't recognize that there is a war going on. They don't recognize anything else. They just recognize a human rights a situation where they happen in the northwest and the southwest region of Cameroon and in the far north with regards to Boko Haram. When I understand that reality, my contributor. So now what did this way Volker talk about on the 7th of August 2024? He write them down on the United Nations, their website. When I go read them a day for day, it talks in the northwest and the southwest regions, what began as peaceful protests in 2016 has turned into a major crisis for the civilian population, with clashes between separatist groups, other armed groups, and security forces, including the military, leaving thousands killed, hundreds of thousands displaced, and the denial of the right to education to more than 700,000 children. Reports continue to emerge of human rights violations and abuses, including unlawful killings, ill treatment and torture, kidnappings for ransom, and restrictions on freedom of movement, the imposition of lockdown days by separatist groups, preventing children from going to school, people from accessing their livelihoods at the risk of being shot. This is unacceptable and should be roundly condemned. So that one at 7th of August 2024, where the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, he came down on the ground inside Cameroon and he left this assessment, this statement, public statement, appreciation of the situation on the ground inside Cameroon. And what the Amber terrorists they do, 2 weeks later, they declare 1 month lockdown for prevent picking them in the no-go school. Another situation that in the Anglophone zone. Now the pictures in that side by side. What way they happen for Northwest, where Cameroon military they escort picking them for go for school, and what way they happen with Ambazoonia terrorism, where they can't shoot picking them for school, kill them. That is it. So Anglophones them, Ambazoonia terrorists, they don't get the ability for learn. They just don't. Wonderfully international idiots. They don't have the ability for learn. Now, if you go back for which way Rebecca Tinsley talk, make I not forget this particular point. Rebecca Tinsley talk, or Chris Anu talk something about the root causes. Rebecca Tinsley corrected right there and they say, nah lie. Nobody, no, they talk about the root causes of nothing. No one has ever said that. No one. It talks say that's not what the international community is saying. And even if they will talk, no one will ever go back for go revisit the so-called root causes. No one. It not going to happen. So it's not just Rebecca Tinsley. It is, look at the people the Amber terrorists are fighting against. Look at them. Now them that. Okay? Now people the Amber terrorists they are fighting against the Pope, the clergy, the United Nations, the American government. Now the people in that way the Amber terrorists are fighting against. And then the things when I think say they go win. Not a chance in hell. And now why that way Tibon Nagy, ABB Force will put this tweet. Last month, August the 20th, 1 month never reached. Talk say the United Nations Resolution 1608 is a false god. It no go ever happen. But the Amber terrorists, they don't get the ability for learn. So now I go bring for you now the video where it come out from the United Nations, from the office of the president of the United Nations General Assembly. My contributor them. And before I bring una that, make una understand, say, the resolution 1608, where the Ambazoonia terrorists, they always hang their hat on, claim saying that you go give them independence. Okay? It will be signed, it will be debated, and it will be adopted at the General Assembly. Now, the same General Assembly today, where Okuman will be the president of the United Nations General Assembly. And for this speech, where he read them on the 10th of September 2024, 4 days ago, His Excellency Philemon Yang, former Prime Minister for Cameroon, he thanked the head of state, President Paul Biya, for giving you this honor, for take this high office, this position. My contributor them. Will now listen.
Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to stand before you as the President of the General Assembly for its 79th session, and I am humbled and grateful that the membership has entrusted me with this immense responsibility. My sincere thanks also go to President Francis, under whose leadership the General Assembly navigated a year filled with great challenges and uncertainty, guided by his watchwords of peace, progress, prosperity, and sustainability. I express my deep appreciation and gratitude to His Excellency, Mr. Paul Biya, President of the Republic of Cameroon. I accept this distinctive honor as a testament of our shared aspirations for a better world. Our world faces numerous challenges. Climate change is devastating the planet and endangering countless lives and societies. Conflicts and armed violence rage on from Sudan to Haiti, from Ukraine to the Gaza Strip, leaving trails of death, destruction, and wanton misery worldwide. Suffering caused by poverty and hunger continues to linger. Prejudice and hate, often amplified by new digital tools that bring opportunities but also risk, continue to fuel tensions and strife. The list expands, sowing doubt about our collective capacity to come together for the common good. Dear friends, we must meet these doubts with a clarion call to action, drawing inspiration from the Charter of the United Nations and the principles of international cooperation. We must demonstrate that international cooperation remains the most effective tool at our disposal for addressing the profound and borderless issues we confront. Cooperation among member states is what allows us to harness our collective resources and ingenuity to realize humanity's greatest aspirations, such as peace, justice, and sustainable development among them. The General Assembly, with its near universal membership of 193 member states, stands as our most powerful platform to fully seize its promise. Let us recommit to the 8 billion people in every corner of the world that this august body can and will meet their hopes for a brighter future. The opportunities to do so are immense, especially amid the revolutions in technology, equipping us with powerful new tools to accelerate progress. It is up to us to ensure that the benefits of international cooperation are shared regularly and equitably, leaving no one behind. Excellencies, as we get ready to seize the opportunities together, allow me to outline the vision that will guide us through my tenure. The cornerstone of my presidency will be built on the principles of unity in diversity, fostering an environment where every voice is not only heard, but valued. We will pursue the advancement of peace, ensuring that our efforts towards conflict resolution are both proactive and enduring. Sustainable development will be a key focus as we strive to balance equitable economic growth with environmental governance. And underlying our efforts will be a thorough and uncompromising commitment to human dignity for everyone, everywhere.
So, my country people, them now the President of the United Nations General Assembly, that His Excellency Mr. Philemon Young, on the 10th of September 2024, he gave this speech as he finally took office of that post. So, Ambazoonia terrorists, they don't always beg attention from the United Nations General Assembly. Now, what is independence? If at all they fight for independence, you get to ask yourself that question. What is independence and what does it look like? Independence just means having sovereignty, sovereign authority, which is the supreme authority where a people have for take care of their own affairs. And if you get authority where no be recognized, then it be nothing. So that authority comes from the fact, say it be recognized by other member states and other authorities. Now, what that way independence be? Ambazoonia terrorists, they say they want independence. That independence can only come through international recognition. They must be recognized by the United Nations and other member states so that you will get international diplomatic relations with other nations then, so that you will get a seat at the United Nations, a seat at the African nations, a seat or embassy in other foreign countries, so that you could produce passports, travel documents, the way other nations, they will accept them and they will respect them. So that if you get examinations then for your country, your educational system and the exams, you will get certificate for your country, you take them out of that country, it will still be valid. For example, you get degree for University of Boya, University of Yaoundé, you take and go for America, you will still get job. They go recognize them. You go for Nigeria, they go recognize them. That is what independence looks like. So how do you intend to get that independence if you don't get recognition from the United Nations and other member states? Other countries, the day where they get where they call and say de facto independence. Like you get this country, what did they call them again? Somaliland and Taiwan and some other countries, them way now them they control their territory. Now them control their economy. Now them control, they even get their currency, their flag, everything. But they don't get de jure independence. De jure independence. Now the kind of independence where you get a seat at the United Nations. You get a seat at the African nations. Now that kind of independence where you get embassy in other countries around the world. You be recognized. But de facto independence, now that one that way you not even be recognized by other nation states. So remember, saying that Cameroon government he owned the sovereignty of the former British Cameroons, and we don't prove and for una in many ways. For example, the Bakassi Peninsula case, where Cameroon take Nigeria go court a winner, it declare on paper by the United Nations, saying that Cameroon government for Yaoundé he owned the sovereignty of that territory known as the former British Cameroons, former West Cameroon, today Northwest and the Southwest region of Cameroon. Make una understand that. So Ambazoonia terrorists, how una go do manage get that seat at the United Nations? When the president of the General Assembly, where they go vote for that one so-called independence at that General Assembly. Now for that they go for admit any member for United Nations, now for General Assembly where they go table them and they go vote and then admit it and then give you a seat at the United Nations. See now the general, now all the member states and that for United Nations, now General Assembly this, now member states and that, each member get one seat. You understand? Now the General Assembly that, all the 190 something countries then for this world, they get one seat and one vote at the United Nations. So Ambazoonia terrorists, how una go get a seat at that place? Okuman, he already gets seat for day. The highest seat for that General Assembly, Okuman from Bui Division. Una know if you even pass for your office or even say good morning, una know why? Because for 2018, at the beginning of this madness, una go burn in house for Oku, destroy your properties then for Oku. Today, na ye there for position for sign for una so-called independence. So when I think say Oku man, he no go know what way they happen for Oku. When I think say this Oku man, he go down for United Nations now forgive Ambazoonia. Una after the Amba terrorists, they don't come burn the properties. Una think say all the other member states them, all the other people they way go to rub shoulders with them, where they create connections them. They no go ask you about what will happen for your country, and when I think say no go explain for them. When I think say all the terrorist atrocities the way they commit them inside Cameroon, the beheadings like the public execution for Guzang Market Square, where ADF Ayabacho they do them, the murder for the people them, they carry this, carry that, the lockdowns, terrorizing school picking them. Mateuna, if I don't know, I get direct, I mean say direct communication with Pa Philemon Yang. Direct. All the things that we me and the publisher, the terrorist atrocities and Pa Philemon Yang they get them instantly as opposed to them, so Pa Philemon Yang get them. And when Pa Philemon Yang get them, you know who else has it? Antonio Guterres. For una una no know for this video for United Nations General Assembly, ma find the place, ma show una Antonio Guterres. If una no know he, ma show una na in this, ma show una for this video, na in that. Una see am. Now Antonio Guterres that for the left. Now Pa Philemon Yang that middle. Now he cheer that for middle. That other geezer way there to the right, I don't know his name now, probably president for the Security Council or something, I don't know. But Antonio Guterres now the Secretary General for United Nations, and Pa Philemon Yang now the president of the General Assembly. Now he cheer that, he cheer for middle for General Assembly for the next 1 year. Now he could be now the only cock if he crow for United Nations General Assembly. Pa Philemon Yang. For your right hand, it could be now Antonio Guterres, where it go execute the decisions the way the General Assembly it take them. For your right hand, now Antonio Guterres. When I remember for 2018-19 or now 2020-21, where the Amba terrorists they will talk about, oh, Antonio Guterres lockdown, Antonio Guterres lockdown, Mami Wata lockdown. Maybe we lock down for send a message to Antonio Guterres. Maybe we lock down for send a message to the United Nations. When I go send a which kind of message now for United Nations? When were the man with they seated as the president of the General Assembly, na Okuman, and then for his right hand, 30 centimeters away, his right hand, na Antonio Guterres the shit for day. So when I go get now which kind of message to Antonio Guterres, where me, I know go get them to Pa Philemon Yang, and 30 seconds later, Antonio Guterres go get them. All when atrocities them. All when atrocities them. All when threats against school picking them. All of those atrocities them. Beheadings, public executions them. We send them direct to Pa Philemon Yang. The next 3 seconds, Antonio Guterres get them. When I go get that independence now how? When I go get the independence, we see am now. When I hear what Pa Philemon Yang talk, he thank the head of state, President Paul Biya. Pa Philemon Yang will stand as the only African person. What means say the whole African continent, it can support President Paul Biya, you pick, your choice for take this high office. Because it will be in Africa, you turn, forget the presidency of the General Assembly. Cameroon will submit a candidate, Pa Philemon Yang. Some other countries, they might not remember off the top of my head, they will submit, I think South Africa and Equatorial Guinea or some other, or was it Angola? They will submit their own candidates for the African Union, for represent Africa as the president of the General Assembly. Now, diplomatic, you scratch my back, I scratch your own. It happened in the background. Cameroon sent delegation, the minister of relations in charge of the Commonwealth, Minister Felix Mbayu, he goes to South Africa, go these countries and go talk to them. Scratch my back, I scratch your own. All the African nations, they come together in one accord. They talk with one voice. They talk, say, okay, this one say, I go withdraw my candidate. This one say, I go withdraw my candidate. Last. Now only one candidate is stand for represent the African bloc for the United Nations. And that candidate, now the one way President Paul Biya, a hand pick him, put him for front. Say, go represent Africa for the United Nations, Pa Philemon Yang, is stand unchallenged for Africa. And he stand unchallenged for the United Nations. And now in this, he don't be seated as the president of the United Nations General Assembly. Now for day, where they grant independence for countries them. So how we go get that independence? So-called Ambazoonia. The person will come out from the former British Southern Cameroons, from Oku, the heart of Ambazoonia terrorism, inside Bui Division, for Northwest region. Now he be president of the United Nations General Assembly now. When I think now say, all those lies, manipulation, fake news, terrorism, atrocities them, the world no go know. The world knows. The world knows by contributing. So without further ado, I want to play for now this report from Capo Daniel. I don't know if my laptop battery be long enough for take the presentation, but we'll play them. It's about 20 minutes long, and then we'll end the live broadcast. So my contribute them. When I listen.
Are we cursed? Are we a cursed people? This one na curse. That means say this boy where he Ajoro case, the don't help he Ajoro case and go through because of this struggle. You shouldn't, you the one celebrate, say we Ambazonian them wouldn't paralyze our own city, wouldn't lock down our own picking them, say Cameroon government be shocked. Is the purpose of this struggle to give us freedom and to serve the interests of our people, or the purpose is to make Cameroon shocked? The interest of Cameroon, not only for show for the war, say now we would destroy our own, that is enough victory for La Republic. As soon as I hear for report, say it be unfortunate, but life goes on. Because it not getting impact on the regime, even in terms of delegitimizing the regime. Even election boycott or boycott them, it never affect the regime. It is a hell for strengthening the regime. All the facts and statistics then they before our eyes for see. The international community will try to convince them, they talk, would they hear them. Is this curse where you see people like Mark Barata, people that you expect who are given privilege to lead the liberation movement, to speak on the interests of people and give wisdom to our population, will be talking rubbish? Look at this idiot. You are celebrating that your own children are staying at home, that you have locked down your own country for nothing, when the result is that the international community is have said that they will never give us independence because of such stupidity. The Pope himself has made an appeal to our own soldiers on ground zero. Yet, this wicked man, this idiot, Mark Barata, who have justified kidnapping for ransom, it is not even surprising that people like this are the reason why our people will suffer for a very long period of time, as long as it takes to feed their ego. And our people should know people like this for sure. The objective of Cameroon have always been to isolate us from the international community. In the beginning, they were trying to prove that there were violence on both sides. We were crying on social media to tell the world, right, Al Jazeera, CNN, and all these big media institutions, that there is no violence on both sides. Today, this idiot is very proud to show the world that there is violence against our people by our own soldiers. Instead of giving the soldiers wisdom to understand how their conduct can impact the ultimate goal of our struggle, he is celebrating that we have locked down Ambazoonia. But like I talked, this should not surprise our people. That is why we have not succeeded and capitalized on the strength of our population and the Amber Boys to win this war, but instead we have turned around the table, and Cameroon is now being seen as those that stands for the human right of our people. Make a play Mark Barata a old audio, how it justify kidnapping for ransom, then make una understand that there is nothing good we can expect from people like this and those that have stand to champion this our struggle. And make una remember, say, for my leak audio, for my conversation with Mark Barata, when I hear how he says they explain how we will not win this war. So he know the truth, but yet, out of sheer wickedness, you will stand to support, encourage the lockdown of our own people, targeting schools that have resulted to the death of 6 innocent civilians. May we not hear Mark Barata concerning kidnapping. At least it will give you a perspective of who he be
taking them to so that they can give money. I can't call it kidnapping. Just taking them, please come and give money so that they survive. We have people that have been taken. They go to an amber camp. They themselves say, hey, they come and say, mommy, I saw these boys in their camp, what they eat, how they live. Fight and live a chop. You don't chop, you don't feel run. You don't chop, you egg or the tonsil. You don't chop, you don't feel fight. So what would they give gun? We give this in. We know things also of the chop and fight and the chop. So sometimes we want to just castigate about issue of kidnapping. We must also be.
So Mark Barata, according to logic, we for diaspora will need to give money for Ambazonian soldier them, so that me they no go kidnap. So we need for the bribe them, me they no go kidnap. Now the type of orientation that way, somebody we want talk on behalf of our people them, it bring them for the table. How can you justify bribing your own soldiers? You need to educate soldiers and say, they fight now for the people. If you don't there for a position where you must kidnap before destroy your own people for survive, then you already lost that war. You need for those level. Because we start this struggle 2016, 2022, now even our own mommy, they cook chop go get for soldier them. General Capo, even the chop na sugar cane. So this now the type of mentality we then destroy our struggle beyond repair. We are people that then become victims and hostage to our own ideology. We now listen, Mark Barata, very well.
We've had successful stories of people who claim that they have been kidnapped. When they went to an amber camp, they came back, they changed because they saw the condition in which these fighters were living. They saw the food that they were eating.
So when I hear the type of mindset and what our people need to be able to expect from people like Mark Barata, it'd be unfortunate.
But we have people who have gone there and come back and tell us good stories. Listen, I thought I was kidnapped, but once I saw, say, please, kidnap me more, kidnap me more. So this is a white man word. White man come with language, kidnapping. It's that you do wrong and we arrest you. You say we kidnap. No, the arrest. We are not arresting you temporarily arrest. Then we leave you. So we understand the kind of kidnapping is very negative. You know, our enablers use the word kidnapping. It's not kidnapping. They arrest you temporarily to beg you for money that people need to feed because they need to survive. They need to survive.
So now Mark Barata, this is celebrating say there is success behind kidnapping for ransom. I mean, we are talking about Ambazonian soldiers. Say then just go catch innocent person with the sole purpose saying that person give money. We're not here.
But they have to feed. They have to live. So they will use other means to live, to feed.
But when I see the content of the decay and the reason why our people are suffering today under our own hands. I go play even J. Carl, where he don't come up. This is somebody I had admired in the beginning of this struggle. But when I hear J. Carl today, he don't stand it talk about this lockdown, where it be meant for stop schooling for our picking them. Make a play audio me gonna hear.
No use the life of your picking pay politics. School, they know they open for Ambazoonia for Southern Cameroon tomorrow. Where na Monday the 9th. Today na Sunday the 8th why they do this video. School no they open for Southern Cameroon for Monday the 9th of September. No. Any man where they send the picking outside for school tomorrow, the Monday 9. May that mommy know or papa no say it use a bikini blood for playing jangi. Yeah, you use your bikini blood for playing jangi because the restoration forces they go there out tomorrow for make sure say in no school, not only tomorrow, for the next 2 weeks. So I come out, I don't see if whether a bishop who come out, he talk say make school they go. But I'm very happy for the response of our people. The way they don't contribute money for all these church, them Baptist, Presbyterian, Catholic. How many of that church they don't even give one scholarship for Pekin may study? Even the brilliant one them. How many? How many of that church, all that Baptist, Presbyterian, Catholic, how many of those church they give one scholarship for some Pekin? Now diaspora, the way they don't wash toilet and they see go back like ex-student go give scholarship for suffer brother, suffer Pekin for back home. When we will change all this nonsense. But every day when I go for church for bazaar, when I go for church for this one, they give one money for church. But the church not even be able for even give back to the people where they give that money for that church. Our mothers, it's time to be wise. Make kuna no use blood for na pikin do saraka. Make kuna no use blood for na pikin do saraka. And any mommy where go send a pikin for school tomorrow, whether na government, private or whatever, when I go see we. Make kuna try am. They don't really send the message. Una do am. It's time when we, this modern day generations, we get to put things right, and we will put it right.
So, J. Cardi basically they criticize the church them, say they support school. they ask and say how many scholarship they don't get for school. But now this illiteracy, this stupidity, lack of knowledge, now it don't destroy our people. How you go do the one blame people and say they need to give scholarship when are the people them they actually create the school? So scholarship and school now which one be important? Now you can't give scholarship, we don't gather your money for diaspora for sponsor picking the way they be poor, or now people really they don't create that school. Now which one be more important? Now they do bigger job. So now the type of people then this way they don't get logic, now foolishness, now patriot. I call them patriot because I know J. Carl, I know Mark Barata, now patriot the way they just be foolish. And now the type of illiteracy this way you don't take over our struggle. So you talk man way open school and man way they give scholarship. Now they help community. The backbone of our education now the Catholic Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Baptist Church. Before you want even talk about government, they can African help. We'll be proud today for the education with this institution that I'm giam. And somebody like this, I don't talk about foolishness, low IQ. Now the problem this will face them. We don't abandon our struggle for illiterate them. Now why that they talk say the biggest problem now the silent majority them who would hear from every day. So now JK that they justify even the killing, the spilling of blood of students them. Talk say the consequences for mommy them was send picking for school. Now say that picking and they go kill them. Majority of our activists the way they start where they will end up in prison. I can guarantee you. They don't know what is happening in the international community. They are so stupid that they risk their own life for nothing, even destroying that which they start up to create. That is why patriots like Mangang today they were prison because of lack of knowledge. So I want me to understand people like J. Carl. When I remember J. Carl, he do live show, he talk about they justify me, then kill me, attack me, was so that they attack our own civilian them. And then he delete the audio, the video. So he make audio for live show for Facebook, then delete them, say he want hide them. Then now wait to be even make you do that audio in the first place. I want to show now the type of low IQ people them, the type of illiteracy. Illiteracy not only mean I say you no go school, where it don't dominate our struggle, they mislead we to our early death, for destroy our Anglophone ideology, even our Southern Cameroon Ambazonian ideology because of this nonsense. When I listen for J. Carl, the audio where they talk about them for Facebook.
Even we are own, we go put una for slaughter, so we cut una so into pieces. Even we are own. Even we are own them, we go put una for slaughter, so we cut una to pieces. If we not get you, go get your family. We go butcher una. So this time man will play. Don't kill a military. If the military attack you, kill him. If the military doesn't attack you, don't touch it. Some of them, they don't want to do it, but their lives are on hanging bars. People you need to touch, I'm sorry to say this, is the civilian population. When you touch them, their cries, especially the families of those who are in government, if you know any of them, you touch them, that is where it hurts. They are the ones. This video, after this, you will not see this video online. I'm just saying it now so you can hear. But after this, you will not see this video online. Because what I've spoken, some things are not supposed to be spoken online for everybody to hear. So after this video, some of you are watching me, you will not see it online. I'll keep it for myself and for the future. So after this, you will not see this video. But I've told you all, go back to the counties, radicalize the boys, tell them, if they see the military coming, they should not be wasting their granates.
So now, J. Carl, that you make a video for social media, for Facebook, they talk to me our own people, then go kill now our own civilian. Them me, they instead leave Cameroon, their army, go kill our civilian, kill people them where they get family member for government. Now, how you go if you do talk now, you begin to criticize Cameroon government, say then capture, they criticize Moja for they do the same thing what they do. That one they show now the type of stupidity, illiteracy, and low IQ for somebody like J. Carl. And you make the video now for Facebook, they talk say you go delete that video, no man no go see him after. Then why you be make that video in the first place? So somebody way he be so stupid for make video for the public, then they talk say you go delete and me no man no see that video again. You not expect, what do you expect from such a person? Say a person we go give advice, we go lead our people, we go help our people. Now the same type of people then way they help la Republic today unknowingly. But one for sure now the type of thing we then destroy our struggle. Stupidity. People where they need to understand how the international community they work. People where they need to understand They don't get no roadmap. They don't know how you go come from one place to another thing. When you do hold your own people to hostage, when this struggle start, we call lockdown or ghost town, no be by threat. Now people then accept the shidong. So any man will if he say your victory, na say we're picking a need to go school. And then the JK, even the Mark Parata, they talk say me school open. Say school go open back after so and so day. After 1st of October. John Bakuro began to talk and say school go open for January, beginning of January. That means me picking a no go school Nazi January for the academic year. The first thing we show now how stupid some of our own people then be. Now say first, you talk say me that school open. They go open, they teach now waiting. Now which curriculum? They will finish right now which end exam, now which public exam will go be recognized, so they go use the certificate internationally or even locally. So you want to put our own picking them for disadvantage. Even when you know say doing so, it turn the international community against us. Doing so, they pit our soldiers against our own civilians. Wait when they hear the international researcher they talk. Now independent people where they work now with statistics and facts. They talk say even the legitimacy of our soldiers they now they don't be in question. Because in 2017, the atrocity against our people were being committed by Cameroon government, and it was justified for Ambazonians to pick up arms. But now the talk say 80% of the attack against our people, kidnapping, all sorts of attack against our innocent civilians, the death of our innocent civilians is caused by our own Amber boys. So the legitimacy of the boys do not exist anymore. We are moving into an era where our forces will be declared as terrorists or extremists that needs international backing to stop them. They will be hunted down like games, and those who are supporting them in the diaspora, they will be hunted down. And at the scenario this way will be talking 1 year, 8 months now when we start prep for try to rescue this situation of a total loss scenario. We will move towards that direction as soon as they see them clearly. But it's time for our people then to realize which way it happen. We cannot win a war by destroying our own or attacking our own. Destroying that very fabric. We will stop school for interrupt school. We will not go affect, we will not get ability for yet for produce curriculum, recognized curriculum within our system. That one is just stupidity. Would the help La Republic for justify for the war say the need for crack down on our struggle, and our struggle no get any legitimacy, you no get any potency for any success or any political agenda. Cameroon, they be the court internet for stop diaspora leadership. Today, now some of those people for diaspora, they talk say na soldier and talk. When I go allow somebody may carry gun where they run for a life, me they take decision about the livelihood of people. Never would that ever happen in a successful manner. Never would that bring any success to our people. But we will not be feel succeed because of our internal dynamic. Our worst enemy in our own. Any man they try to destroy each other. Any man it don't become now a fight for people where they look not relevant. How many days then they for lockdown? This soldier don't come off talk say na 2 weeks. It's supposed to end na today. The other one talk say it go start to go end for this one. So na pay as we go. Do one a curse. Ambazonian is cursed with those who have emerged as championing of our cause. They are the biggest destruction of our forces, biggest destruction of our Anglophone ideology, and our possibility to attain independence. The other soldier that don't come on for Atingo Kitunja, they shall say we go die for Sako. Indeed, we go die for Sako ahead. Now a point for Sako no be about Ambazonia. Now na fight for now who be the legitimate leader. Na Sako, na Ayabacho, na Seseko. Me God even help the Seseko way for prison. When I think about how many times Seseko don't stand threatening population, how many times? When I visit a foolish man, how many times threatening innocent civilians or justify the killing or targeting of innocent civilians who have done nothing wrong? Disproportionately, even using death threat. When I know how we don't fall, when I see even Thomas, we be kind of talk, run mob for social media, talk to me, then go attack UN. Somehow it justifies if you keep plenty people, then UN go intervene.
No Southern Cameroonian, particularly a fighter on the ground. When you are fighting, please keep aside anything called international convention. That might come after you tomorrow. When you are fighting, keep aside anything called international convention that you think might come after you tomorrow. If it is to kill a Republican citizen and even kill pregnant women, let them be 1 million. Kill them. That is what is going to cause the international community not to be sending diplomatic envoys across. They will send soldiers down there to cause a buffer zone between the Southern Cameroon people and Latin Cameroon. If it is to massacre them for a day, 50,000, do just that. That is what is going to attract international attention and action.
Yes. Any agent where they run around Southern Cameroon say the UN official. Now an insult and a slap on the face of the Southern Cameroon people. They are sending people to come and be given food or whatsoever is an insult. Any member of the United Nations running around the Southern Cameroon under the canopy of the UN should be killed. I no need for the sugarcoat this statement again. Anybody running around the Southern Cameroon now under the UN flag should be killed.
Chris Anu, una attack UN, una do stupid things there.
This is the moment to confiscate anything and everything United Nations has on the ground in our territory. Every United Nations official or piece of equipment that is seen moving or standing anywhere in Ambazoonia must be hurriedly, and I mean hurriedly, confiscated.
No, there is no shortcut to success. When you are fighting a government who have legitimacy internationally, they are recognized internationally, you have to be very careful, you have to be very disciplined. I don't tell una Mao Zedong Ibogo abi reader. The greatest challenge for any revolution or liberation struggle na the internal discipline mechanism them. For focus the ideology towards public-centric. Even Chinese when a communist country where talks they no get freedom. They protect na their own. Now which kind curse this would get them for Ambazoonia? Are we a cursed people? This one na curse.
So my country people them, when I don't hear na Capo Daniel that he don't talk, he talks say what people they actually be cursed. So I go end the live broadcast. So when I don't, it don't be almost 2 hours. Thank you, plenty my country people them. I go end them so.